There are some pretty significant changes coming, and some of it is pretty concerning as well. The hot take for today is changes in the way Once Human handles seasons, and it's not all good news. They have actually responded to requests for a permanent PvE server with all maps on normal difficulty. Sadly, it doesn't look like that's what we'll be getting. So they've received this request and are conducting internal evaluations and reflections. Their priority is to address the issue that many players have reported being forced to leave due to server shutdowns at the end of the season. Now they plan to introduce a mechanism in early 2025, so January, February, March next year, that's all early 2025, that removes server shutdowns at the end of the season. After signing up for a specific scenario and completing the seasonal gamer experience, players will be able to continue their experience without facing a fixed server shutdown point that forces them to sign up for a new scenario or return to Eternaland. Players can keep using their seasonal character data and accumulated resources to continue playing the server until they choose to sign up for a new scenario and start a new season. I don't think that's quite what we had in mind, but it might be one of those quick fixes only to do it a proper job a bit later, maybe. Here they make it quite clear. Once Human is a scenario-based game, offering different content in each scenario. We know this. Players are free to choose the scenario they enjoy best. Our team is discussing how to fulfill this request while keeping the game's identity intact. Look, I've been discussing this with the Hive mates and stuff. What I really want to see is a sticky server that never goes away. You can play on that server. You can always choose to leave that server for another permanent server, but while you're in that server, you can also join scenarios with the same character. So the scenario is a temporary server that always stays temporary, and you can just go enjoy a scenario, and then after the scenario ends, or even during the scenario, you can switch between these two servers. Go back to your permanent server and play there for a bit, because this permanent server will have stuff like optional PvE and PvP challenges where you, in PvP, can team up with some mates and do some really difficult challenges or some huge wars or something like that. And same thing in PvP, join up with some squad mates and just have some fun, like team death matches, capture the flag, king of the hill, stuff like that, like stuff you don't have to do. Stuff you can choose to do, during phase 1, when we're all done with phase 1 in a day and we're just all waiting for phase 2, we can go back to this permanent server and we can go have our fun with our friends and stuff while we wait on the new phases to come through. That would be one way to retain players for a lot longer. This permanent server should have the entire map unlocked. All of the places we have so far should always be unlocked on this server. So when a new scenario comes out on a new part of the map, that gets added to the permanent server. So that's how I envision this. I don't know if that's just too difficult to do. That's probably going to be really resource intensive. But how amazing would that be? I would love that. Instead, we get Eternaland, which there's no real reason to go there at all for me. I did try to build a little bit of an Eternaland for fun, like a little fun adventure for someone, but it's just not worth spending time in Eternaland. They're discussing how to fulfill this request while keeping the game's identity intact. That is very promising news. If they're only going to implement this quick fix in early 2025 for the big thing, the real thing that most of us probably want, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer. Next one is not a big one for me. The community doesn't want Christmas furniture and decor added in Lightforge loot crates. I guess this is good because everyone wants to share in the holiday spirit and stuff. So everyone probably wants to decorate their houses for Christmas without spending $600 on a loot crate. So yeah, I agree with that. And they have said they will not include Christmas furniture and decor in the loot crates. So that's pretty cool. This one is just an aside. It's not even in my server. But Latin America and Southeast Asia are getting new hard difficulty Manibus servers. So good for you guys. Go have fun. This is a weird one. Increase the fridges capacity. Just build more fridges. It is what it is. However, the reason they cite for not increasing the fridge's capacity to 64 slots is that it would put too much stress on their servers. That's pretty interesting. They are working on comprehensive optimizations to the storage system, expected to be completed in early 2025. And they will be able to improve the fridge's storage. I mean, that would be nice, but rather make a mimetic for 64 slot fridges. I think that would be better. This is a great one. Grow shrooms will be able to use fertilizer automatically. It would be fantastic if they could. It's one of the reasons when I start crafting fertilizer that I don't use my grow shrooms really. So yeah, they are working on that feature and it's expected to be launched in December. So that's fantastic. Now, I did see some other people already cover this stuff on YouTube. So just in case you haven't watched one of them, I'm just going to go over this quick, but they are going to overhaul both the Blueprint system and the Starchrom collection system. You can go ahead to their Discord and read all of this if you want, but they aren't going to be taking any blueprints away from us, nothing like that. Instead, we're getting a new additional system to blueprints where we can unlock camos and, well, here it is. Weapon-themed avatars, name cards, backgrounds. There's some weapon customizations, weapon rename tokens, weapon nameplates. You're getting these weapon camos, which is pretty cool. It's just adding to the game, but I don't feel like the blueprint system was one of the glaring issues in Once Human that needed fixing immediately. It's not something that was critical, but here it is, and we've got it. As for the Starchrom system, you can now earn up to 64,000 Starchrom, 66,000 Starchrom per month. That's insane. I mean, we earn a fair bit now. Every time I look, I've got 40k Starchrom again. So it's not difficult to earn Starchrom. But yeah, now even just killing normal enemies will be able to get you Starchrom at the end of the day. You don't have to rely on one method. You can do dungeons and collect this, what do they call it, asterisms. And you can go run Leia if you rather want to do that than Prime Wars. You can just do your area explorations and kill all the enemies and get the asterisms that you can then trade for Starchroms. So there's going to be, instead of very specific ways to earn Starchrom, there's going to be multiple ways to earn Starchrom. And this is a fantastic change. It's absolutely fantastic. Because if you've seen some of my earlier videos where I complained and bitched about things, especially in winter, that was just, oh my word, what an abomination of a scenario. You'll know that I find player choice to be extremely important. Don't force PvP on players. Don't force certain events on players. Like, don't make a person go solo Leia as a final challenge if they don't want to do that, because that's just cruel. Give them additional rewards if they choose to, but don't force stuff like that on players, because tell you what, soloing Leia, it's tough. It's damn tough. You got to have a fantastic build, and I'm way off track again. I digress. I think this is a fantastic change. I think it gives players a choice in what they do. Yeah, there it is. Focus on enjoyment. You will have the freedom to choose scenarios based on your interest without the worry of missing out on Starchrom rewards. We believe this will enhance your overall gameplay experience. You can just go into any scenario you want, and you're still going to be able to earn Starchrom up to 66,000 a month, no matter what you do. So that is really, really awesome. I love it. A little bit more news for you guys is that Once Human has been nominated for Outstanding Visual Style category in this year's Steam Awards. So if you agree with that, go on to Once Human's Twitter and go give them a vote. One final thing that I have not covered yet, and I didn't cover it on purpose, because this is a major balance update coming 19 December. I didn't want to touch this because we all know that the way Once Human translates things and puts it out there is really how it actually functions in the game. So reading these changes and then trying to plan the next meta out of it and stuff and plan your builds, I see that as absolutely pointless, because stuff's probably not going to work the way it does as it's, the way it's stated here, it's probably not going to work that way. That's the whole thing. However, there is one thing that I want to talk about. I've read through this on my own, and you can go read this if you want. I'll leave this link in the description, and you can go check it out. But is bounce going to be the new meta? Hell no. Out of everything, I think bounce will be more viable. So that's pretty good. I'm keen to play a bounce. And then the Frost gun Silent Anabasis, which is for some reason called the Silent Egress. You see what I mean? It's getting a slight buff to chance. See, this is now the thing. It says here, hitting targets within the Frost Vortex generates ice crystals, cooldown 1.5 seconds. Generates ice crystals on hit, it says here, which is what the original description said. So they must have intended it initially to work that way, and then a change was made, and the text was never updated. Some shit like that. You understand why I don't want to go off of this and say, okay, these are the new metas, because holy shit, it's probably going to be wrong. Generates ice crystals on hit. Does that mean that whether your target is in a Frost Vortex or not, every time you hit a target, barring that you're not shackled by the cooldown, that you are going to get an ice crystal? Because holy shit, that's going to make this gun overpowered. It's already very strong if you run the crit build on it. Damage increases to 350% when you shatter the ice crystals now instead of 300%. It has been nerfed for PvP, but it's been buffed for PvE. I did want to cover this one gun, because it's also getting a buff to frost elemental damage. This gun is going to be so strong. With all of these changes, the Silent Anabasis is about to become the new meta, I'm pretty sure. If it works the way they've laid it out here. Big if. We'll just have to wait and see. After 19 December, I'm going to be quite interested to see what the Kumawink does, because there's this new rebound mechanic pretty much kind of gives you a double hit, I guess, based on how it's described here, which means bounce damage is getting a bit of a nerf, but you also get an extra bounce now instead of an extra trigger. I don't know if that, it's so confusing. I've never used bounce, by the way, I must say, but this is making it look pretty promising, and bouncing all over the place, that's going to be fun. This might be a new viable build for Leia, but we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not going to keep speculating on this stuff. I've wasted enough of your time. So that about sums it up. There's been so much stuff in Once Human in the last while. Some of it's promising, some of it makes me wonder a little bit. But overall, it shows that the devs are trying to listen and retain their player base. And that is promising. We all know the reputation that NetEase has. Some of my friends from last season have quit the game purely because NetEase is involved. And they've had experience with NetEase games in the past. Maybe they're genuinely looking to make a more sustainable player experience, because you can't sell loot crates if there are no players to sell them to. Overall, it just doesn't feel to me like they're trying to squeeze out what they can and run. But I mean, I could be wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. If you'd like to join the Discord, there's a link in the description. We are slowly growing, and I'll keep working to make it a little more fun in there. But anyway, that is it from me. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you in the next video.